China-Vietnam Railway is coming soon. Which cities will benefit more? There is hope that a new artery will be opened between China and Vietnam. According to China's Xinhua news agency, China and Vietnam issued a joint statement on further strengthening comprehensive strategic cooperative partnership and promoting the construction of a community of shared future for China and Vietnam on August 20th, which stated that the two countries' railways, highways, and port infrastructure will be accelerated. When mentioning the China-Vietnam Railway, many people will further think of the Pan-Asia Railway. The Vietnam Railway belongs to the eastern line of the Pan-Asia Railway concept. At present, the central line of the Pan-Asia Railway has made the greatest progress. The China-Laos Railway has been opened, and the China-Thailand Railway is also under construction. There have been voices for China and Vietnam to cooperate on railways for a long time, but there has been no clear progress. At present, the China-Vietnam Railway may usher in the possibility of further advancement. From an international perspective, through the Pan-Asia Railway, the entire Southeast Asia and China's high-speed rail interconnection can be realized, and the countries in the region will usher in new historical opportunities. Looking inward, what changes will it bring to China's western border provinces and even the entire region? Let us take a closer look in this video. In the past year or so, Vietnam has been very active in hard connectivity with China. In May last year, the Minister of Transport of Vietnam and others led a delegation to visit China and held meetings and talks with the Ministry of Transport, the National Railway Administration, China Communications Construction Group, China CRRC, China Railway Group, China Railway Construction and China Railway Group, and other ministries and central enterprises. In December last year, China and Vietnam issued a joint statement proposing to promote the cross-border standard gauge railway connectivity between China and Vietnam, study and promote the construction of the Lao Cai-Hanoi-Haiphong standard gauge railway in Vietnam, and carry out research on the Dong Dang Hanoi and Mong Kai Halong Haiphong standard gauge railways in due course. The joint statement issued on August 20th mentioned that China agreed to provide support for Vietnam to formulate the planning of the Lang Son Hanoi, Mong Kai Halong Haiphong standard gauge railway projects and the feasibility study report of the Lao Cai Hanoi Haiphong standard gauge railway project. China and Vietnam already have two railways connected. The Yunnan-Vietnam Railway connects Kunming, Yunnan and Hiku, Vietnam, and the Nanping plus Pingyi Railway connects Nanning, Guangxi and Hanoi, Vietnam. However, due to the non-uniform railway system between China and Vietnam, the smoothness of the connection is affected. The railway gauges in the world are meter gauge, standard gauge, and wide gauge. The width of meter gauge is less than 1,435 millimeters. The standard gauge is 1,435 millimeters. The wide gauge is greater than 1,435 millimeters. Among them, most countries in the world, including China, use standard gauge. In Vietnam, the Yunnan-Vietnam Railway is meter gauge, and the Pingyi Railway is wide gauge. For example, the Pingyi Railway connecting Guangxi and Vietnam is an important logistics channel connecting China and Vietnam. From January to July this year, Guangxi's China-Vietnam trains shipped a total of 6,850 standard containers of goods, a year-on-year increase of 16 times. 1,922 standard containers were shipped in July, exceeding the total shipment volume in the first quarter of this year, and it has refreshed the monthly shipment volume record for the third time this year. However, because it is a wide gauge and China uses a standard gauge, freight trains need to stop and change tracks at the border port, which brings huge time and financial costs. Putting the standard gauge on the agenda now will greatly improve the efficiency of the connection between the two countries in the future. Specifically, this joint statement put 3 Vietnamese standard gauge railways on the agenda, namely Lang Son-Hanoi Railway, connecting to Nanning, Mong Kai Halong Haiphong, connecting to Fangchenggang, and Lao Kai Hanoi Haiphong, connecting to Kunming, which can be described as 3 lines at the same time. These 3 cross-border standard gauge railways will also be an important part of the eastern line of the Pan-Asia Railway. The more densely populated countries and regions are, the greater the economic effect that infrastructure such as railways can bring. China's population density is 148 people/square kilometer, while Southeast Asia's population density is as high as 223 people/square kilometer. The China-Laos Railway is an important proof. Since its opening on December 3, 2021, the China-Laos Railway has operated a total of 56,000 passenger trains, transported more than 38 million passengers, attracted passengers from 100 countries and regions around the world, and brought unprecedented prosperity to the areas it passes through. When the train whistles, gold is worth a ton. The first place that attracted attention was the small city of Fangchenggang in Guangxi. Among the 3 lines of the China-Vietnam Railway, the Mong Kai Halong Haiphong Railway, which connects to Fangchenggang in the east, is a completely new one. At the end of 2023, the Guangxi-Fangchenggang Dongxing Railway will be officially opened and put into operation, ending the history of this China-Vietnam border port city without railways. In the future, it will be connected to the Vietnam Railway and may become a new China-Vietnam cross-border railway hub. At the same time, the business departments of the Chinese and Vietnamese governments have also clearly designated the Dongxing-Mong Kai cross-border economic cooperation zone as the first pilot of the China-Vietnam cross-border economic cooperation zone. This little-known small city is expected to become a border pearl that is not inferior to Horgos and Manchuria. However, the greater beneficiaries may be Kunming, the capital of Yunnan Province, and Nanning, the capital of Guangxi. Both cities have incomparable location advantages. From the provincial level, Yunnan borders 3 countries, has 19 land ports, and has close ties with many ASEAN countries. As the provincial capital, Kunming is one of the only 20 international integrated transportation hubs in the country. Changshui International Airport has 2 4F runways and is China's most important aviation gateway to Southeast Asia. Its passenger flow ranks among the top 8 in the country all year round. Moreover, the starting point of the Pan-Asia Railway, whether the East Line, West Line or Central Line, is Kunming. At present, the Central Line, China-Laos Railway, has been completed and the West Line, China-Myanmar Railway, is under construction. With the acceleration of the East Line, China-Vietnam Railway, Kunming will have the hope of becoming a veritable core hub for China facing Southeast Asia. Let's look at Guangxi again. It is connected to Vietnam by land and sea and has the dual advantages of land ports and seaports. With the construction of the Pinglu Canal, one of the 3-century canals, the water transport channel from Nanning to the Bibu Gulf is directly opened, connecting rivers and seas, and getting rid of the embarrassment of having to go around Guangzhou to go to the sea in the past. In addition, with the rise of the Western Land Sea New Corridor to a national strategy, Nanning and Guangxi will become the outlets for the entire southwest region, and the location advantages will be reshaped. This time, Nanning also got new benefits. In last year's China-Vietnam joint statement, only the construction of the Lao Cai-Hanoi-Haiphong standard gauge railway in Vietnam, that is, the railway from Kunming to Hanoi, was clearly stated, while the Nanning-Hanoi Railway was in the feasibility study stage. In this China-Vietnam joint statement, in addition to the Kunming-Hanoi Railway, the Nanning-Hanoi Railway was also accelerated. If the pattern is opened, it will be found that the economic map leveraged by the China-Vietnam Railway is not limited to Yunnan and Guangxi. Vietnam has an area of only 330,000 square kilometers, but has a coastline of more than 3,000 kilometers. The long coastline has brought Vietnam 56 seaports. In addition, Vietnam is located in the lower reaches of the Mekong River and the Red River, and has developed inland waterway shipping. The huge shipping advantage provides convenience for Vietnam to develop foreign trade. Although the cost of sea transportation is low, the speed is too slow. According to data from the Vietnamese Ministry of Transport, it takes about 50 days for goods to reach European ports such as Hamburg or Amsterdam from Vietnam by sea. In the view of Chinese experts, such a cycle can no longer adapt to the current growth of Vietnam's foreign trade, especially for some products with time limits. Such a long transportation cycle is obviously difficult to meet the needs. For example, the EU and China are both the largest consumer markets for Vietnam's tropical agricultural products and aquatic products. The shelf life or best consumption period of these goods is about 15 days. It is difficult to transport them to the EU within the prescribed period by sea, and the cost of air transportation is too high. If you open the map of the Western Land Sea Corridor, you will find that Vietnam can actually go north through the China-Vietnam Railway in Nanning or Kunming, and take the Western Land Sea Corridor of China to open up a new route to Europe. This road is not a castle in the air. Laos and Thailand have already tasted the sweetness. In December last year, the new international freight model of China-Laos Railway plus China-Europe Express was successfully put into operation, directly shortening the time for goods from Laos and Thailand to arrive in Europe to within 15 days. Therefore, a new idea was proposed: if the China-Vietnam Railway International Transport and the China-Vietnam Railway are successfully connected, it can not only directly connect to the China-Europe Express, but also connect to the China-Myanmar New Corridor in Yunnan through the Lao Cai Hiku port. Not only that, in the view of Chinese experts, it can also connect to the China-Myanmar New Corridor through the Dongdaeng-Pingxiang port or through the Bibu Gulf through Nanning, thus forming a new pattern of intersection and interaction between the Land Silk Road and the Maritime Silk Road, and mutual benefit and win-win for all parties. In addition, the opening of the China-Laos Railway and the Jakarta-Bandung High-Speed Railway has greatly accelerated the layout of the transportation network between China and Southeast Asian countries. At present, the construction of China-Thailand Railway is accelerating, and projects such as China-Laos-Cambodia Railway and Singapore-Malaysia High-Speed Railway are also advancing. Even the Dechong-Funan Canal in Cambodia, which was strongly opposed by Vietnam before, has now officially started. In the entire Indochina Peninsula, under the construction plan of the Pan-Asian Railway Network, the sea and land transportation system has basically taken shape. Vietnam, which was once regarded as the Eastern Line, has gradually lost its voice in the transportation system of Indochina Peninsula because it missed the opportunity to build the North-South high-speed railway. In this case, Vietnam must integrate into China's economic circle as soon as possible, make full use of the limited advantages that have not yet completely failed, and connect with China's railways, so that it can have the opportunity to completely open up the new land transportation artery. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more great content. See you next time.